with a lot of the rules of the church, but I
Sorry
love
about that.
that's okay, dude. The teachings of Jesus. Like I really am resonating with it to the point where I'm just trying to be a better person. It's a struggle. I really struggle hard.
I think you can have a valid experience though, and just go with the red ink. There's these Bibles that just put Jesus in red, everything he said. I think you can have a totally legitimate Christian experience by just doing that. I think it's possible. So it's not. I get what you're saying, Sam. And there's so many things that are, especially to modern sensibilities, to modern ears, are challenging to say the
By the
least.
way, I don't mean to change the subject. I know that we kind of moved on, but you did touch on something. You mentioned J-Lo. I forgot to say, did you know that everybody's forgotten that she was married to Diddy? Remember that?
Yes.
They were married for like a year. And then I found an article talking about how a previous dude that J-Lo used to date or was married to for a little while, he said she was like super into voodoo.
Yes.
Oh, really?
And he was suing her.
Yeah. And then if you pay attention, Diddy's giant tattoo on his back, it's not Mary and Jesus. People think he got it's a voodoo. They're called Loa, but her name is Azuli Dantor, and she's the patron of booty stuff in the voodoo world.
Whoa!
They have a patron of booty stuff, of ass play. That's amazing.
Why do you think everyone's consumed with the beehole, Jay? What do you think it is? What is deep in the beehole that makes people go, what is going on?
I think Crowley is the explanation for that. So Crowley was all into the beehole, and he said that the eye of Horus is more beautiful than the mouth of Venus. The mouth of Venus being the vagina. And I'm not joking. He said that the reason for that is that it's much more powerful for ritual magic workings than the vagina, because you can focus your will and intention, even though it's sterile, it somehow produces like spiritual effects in his crazy system, more so than the normal male female stuff. So the beehole has a magic power according to Crowley, and I think that the modern world has more and more shifted to the beehole. I mean, look, I'll be honest. Like, I'm a butt man over boobs. My wife has a nice figure, but I've always been a butt man and not a boob man. I'm not into booty holes though.
I'm not, dude. A butthole is completely overrated, dude.
Right?
There's nothing like vagina.
When you say that as the inventor of ass eating.
I did. I invented ass eating, but as a guy who invented ass eating,
gross.
I would tell you that, hey, dude, I was a young man. I mean, it was like very early.
Well,
and I
think
that was your Old Testament right there. Was that
was the Old Testament of Sam Tripoli.
Did you know in the book of Numbers, when the Israelites go to Baal Peor and they're tempted with the Lord of open holes? That's what Baal. No, seriously,
open holes.
Yes, the word Baal Peor. Where it says
you got Sodom and Gomorrah, right? I mean, they were Sodom.
But listen, but Baal Peor is more specific because it means Lord of open holes. I'm not joking. So they were literally tempted with the Crowley type stuff in the book of Numbers.
The Lord of
so I'm saying that the same thing is going on where a society moves away from sex that's intended for having kids to sterile. And Crowley said that would be the norm in the future in his aeon, in his era. So I'm not saying he actually caused it. I'm just saying that it's a Crowleyan type of ideology and spirituality to make sexuality about just purely the booty, right? And not producing life. That's what
I totally agree. I mean, we got away from sex creating life to
Jamie. Right. So Jamie read Crowley's big. I don't know, Kenneth Grant, who's Crowley's one of his main devotees, right? So the Crowley sects, they split into two groups. There's the American branch and the British branch. The British branch was the Typhonian OTO, and Kenneth Grant was like their main writer. He wrote a book about this very thing, and the booty hole is like the tunnel. It's like the tunnels of Typhon. So they believe that there's like these spiritual passageways that certain sexual parts of the body like open up certain passageways, basically. It has to do with nerves in your spine. Yeah, it's like Kundalini nerve, spine type stuff.
Just crazy to me, dude.
We went from British spies to like
it was all
booty pathways, right?
All time great, bro.
I would love to see what the statues of the open holes god what look like.
Yeah, what was that like?
There's a good video about look up Baal Peor or Lord of Open Holes on video. There's a good he's a Protestant pastor, but he did like a 5-minute kind of explanation of it. It's really good explanation.
I wonder what I love that.
I don't think anybody we don't
this
really
is
know.
Just for research.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know what it looked like, but I know we did a podcast. I might have even mentioned it on your podcast, Sam, like maybe the first time. Like we were talking about the Kardashians kind of represent like a shift to the booty hole. Because you remember when they were saying that Kim's butt broke the internet? Remember that?
Yeah. It's just crazy to me. Like, and the Kardashians are like, we're talking P. Diddy. Like she's deep in on it. And like everything about them is Freemasonry, sorcery.
You remember their Christmas card they sent out when it had all that satanic symbolism in it?
Yeah,
this was like 20. Do you remember that, Jamie?
Yeah.
It was like 2015 or 16, and they sent out this Christmas card, and it was all the satanic shit in it. What?
The white checkerboard and everything on the floor and everything.
Yes. It was crazy.
Like,
look up the satanic Kardashian Christmas card. That'd be crazy.
I'm just gonna be honest with you, dude. I think that this P. Diddy like scandal may bring down all the worst people, like in terms of culturally that annoy the shit out of us, and we have no clue why they're famous. Well, it just feels like they basically just worship the god of open holes.
Exactly. I think it's that one where it says vulture. You see the vulture link? It's that one.
Okay.
But it's a giant thing. It's see that also look at that, the pyramid right behind her. See that?
That's a Christmas card?
Yes. Look at the weird black Jesus nude Mary thing, and then look at the pyramid behind I guess that's Kim.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
What is 6? What is with the kid's head right there?
I think it's numbered. Somebody's numbered the different.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody put
what
numbers
is
on
going
there.
on?
I got you. What is that? Yeah, I think that's her child, and that's not a head. He's laying on the couch.
He's laying weird. That's her kid. Yeah.
Bizarre. Yeah.
Yeah. The mom was so dark, dude. She's so dark.
I was just thinking about that last
2011,
night.
2013. It was shot by David LaChapelle, so they had a legit photographer come in and shoot there.
Right.
Crazy.
So crazy.
By the way, that podcast you did, Sam, I know you're trying to wrap up. I just want to that was really good where you were talking about rap, how fake rap was, and you did that interview with the guy where you were talking about there was a whole other Biggie that was like the real Biggie. That was crazy. I didn't know any of that. That was wild.
Biggie Smalls. Now they're talking about there's a chick in one of his famous videos. The lead chick was a trans, and it's like Biggie. The Biggie Smalls is a lot like Dave. What's his face from Foo Fighters? Dave Grohl. It's just like, yeah, dude, they're talented, and even Taylor Swift. It's like they're talented, but it's completely manipulated.
It's manipulated. When you're, what I'm talking about, right? The podcast you did where, so there was like another big fat black dude from Mississippi or something.
Yeah, Notorious B1.
That's it. Yeah. And then probably what Diddy did. Let me ask you if this is right. So basically, Diddy had that, and he was like, "Look, you do this," and then he's got the dirt on Biggie, right? Because he can basically say
you control that. Oh, you stole all this.
Yeah.
And again, it's manipulation, and it's the weird thing because Biggie's, Puff Daddy came up with the basically saying is like, I'd rather work with less talented people than talented people.
Exactly.
Which is weird because Biggie Smalls is super. You see him as a kid just spitting rhymes. He's like amazing. But they just manipulated and controlled him and probably made him do some super gay shit. But like
you with a Biggie too?
Dude, supposedly the lead lady in the video is a trans.
Yeah, it just seems like Diddy would go for better stuff than Biggie Smalls. I think he just like.
And then he's trying to say Biggie's not a hottie. Basically.
Yeah.
Ugh, just imagine the smells of gay sex with Biggie.
I think
Smalls.
when you get to a certain point, right? It's not about even attraction anymore. It's just pure power. It's what it seems like. They're bored of everything once you get to that point.
Joe Rogan had a joke way back in the day, And it was like when I first met him, he was doing the joke at the OR in the Comedy Store, and it was everyone's talking about Hugh Hefner was doing gay shit because he gotten so many chicks, he was just bored,
Burned
right?
out.
Everyone always thought it was the most ridiculous thing. He's like, it's like, oh yeah, he just got so many chicks, he wants to bang dudes. He's like, no, when you gotten so many chicks, you know what you start banging? More chicks. But then you start seeing like all the like these like that Leah Rhodes, is that her name? She's an adult film star who like had a kid by an NBA player that everyone thought was Blake Griffin. Turns out was another player. And Blake Griffin never said anything. That's how much of a G Blake Griffin is. He's like, we know it's not my kid. But she was on Michael Porter Jr. show, and she was talking about these NBA players have had so much sex that they're just into weird shit.
Oh.
Dude, they're just like they've done it so many times that they're just into weird stuff.
Do you remember Dennis Rodman? I think Dennis Rodman was doing all this stuff way before everybody else. That's why he was like wearing dresses. He was pushing trans stuff. Dude, back in the 90s. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
His own wedding. He wore the wedding dress.
He wrote a book about him hooking up with the trans, and Oprah's like, I'm taking this book down.
Really?
I didn't know
talk
that.
About that.
Wow.
Yeah. She was presenting it, and then she took it down because he said he was banging trans.
Whoa.
That's like, that'd get her canceled.
Crazy.
Today it would. Then it was like, thank you, Oprah. Thank you. Back then. Yeah, dude. It's just super weird, bro. It's just gets weird out there.
And then he goes to meet with, he goes and meets Kim Jong-un a couple years ago.
Yeah, that was crazy.
One of my best jokes is about how I stopped nuclear war, because me and my friend, when Dennis Rodman signed with the Lakers, they had a giant press conference, and me and my friend snuck into it at Planet Hollywood, the restaurant in Beverly Hills. We snuck in, and I asked a question. And I go, do you think you're going to start? Because Eldon Campbell's been with the Lakers forever, and he's only getting better. Do you think you're going to start on the Lakers? He goes, do I think I'm going to start? I'm a 5-time world champion, defensive player of the year. And he just starts bawling right there. He starts crying, and they ended the whole conference right there. I was on Howard Stern. They played the clip on Howard Stern. He just kind of fractures after that. And next thing you know, he's in North Korea stopping nuclear war because of me, dude.
And that was your question? Are you serious?
That was my question. I asked that question that made him cry that day. It was
that adds new like to me. That's wild, because I just watched that so they tried to make him a Hollywood star. Remember, they put him in that Van Damme movie Double Team.
Yeah.
Which itself is insane.
I forgot about that. Wow,
no, dude, I just watched this movie. I'd never seen it. It's totally MK Ultra. It's wild. Like, this movie is insane. Like, retarded.
It's huge, and he's just gone now. I mean, he had that kind of show that kind of made fun of himself, a parody of his whole career.
Him and Seagal, they were so big.
Yeah,
that show
it's big, but
that show is actually good.
What's it called again? It's shit.
Jean-Claude Van Johnson.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah,
Claude Von Johnson.
It's actually really funny. Like, they had legit, really good comedy writers on that. It's great. And it's very meta, very like aware, satirical show. It's really good. The reason I know that is because I just did a whole like Van Damme, like super mega. I've gone through all the canon of Van Damme. I'm talking about all the way back to like his first cyborg level stuff, all the way up to where he's at now, which is wild. Anyway, we could talk about this some other time, but yeah, there's some crazy stuff going on with Van Damme. I'm not sure what to make.
Still going on with Van Damme? Still?
Well, I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know what to think. We're gonna do a podcast coming up, a mega Van Damme stream. So we'll get into it.
Dude, I gotta watch that mega Van Damme. But people will never understand how big Van Damme and Seagal were.
Yeah,
they were so big. They were making movies, and now we look at them, we laugh, and I wonder if that's how we're gonna look at The Rock. Do you think we'll ever look at The Rock going, dude? Can you believe that?
He's a better actor than either of those guys.
I guess he's gonna be more of a Schwarzenegger, right?
He's a better actor than any of those guys, to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's funny. So Van Damme didn't really seem to have very good acting skills until they made the 2012 or 2014. There was a French film that was an indie film called JCVD.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah,
he actually acted really good in that. They were actually talking about he might win an Oscar for that, which is wild because
that would have been the best.
That's crazy. Yeah.
But dude, Hollywood would never have allowed that to happen ever.
No, but I'm saying
comedy has never won. That's why comedy has never won an Oscar, because they just take themselves way too. Never won a best movie or best actor because they just take themselves too fucking serious.
Yeah,
never allowed.
JCVD probably would have only been up for best foreign film, but it's not actually a comedy. It's hard to explain. It's like a weird indie film about him and his own. It's like a meta analysis. It's got some comedy elements, but like at one point he dissociates in the story, and then he starts talking to the camera, breaks the fourth wall, start talking to the camera, starts crying, and it's just really bizarre because I don't know. There's just weird stuff going on with Van Damme. I don't know what to make of it. I don't know if it's like espionage related stuff or MK Ultra stuff, but there's something weird going on there. We're gonna try to get to the bottom of it.
Jay, you were great, man. One more time, tell them where they can find you.
You can go to jaysanalysis.com and you got access to my archives there if you subscribe. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube, Jay Dyer. You can find me on Instagram, everywhere else, and Fourth Hour with Alex Jones every Friday. Yeah, that's it. We just had Jamie Kennedy on. I know you're doing live events. Do you have any live events coming up before we leave? Well, so Jamie and I had talked about a live event again down the road, so we might have that. But the next live event will be October 25th and 26th in Florida with the Nephilim Death Squad crew. We'll have a lot of funny people out there. I'm going to be doing no actual conspiracy stuff on stage. I'm actually going to be doing comedic stuff. So it's going to be a lot of funny, goofy, crazy stuff, a lot of harassment of the audience. So you can go to Bohemian Grove, Top Lobster of Bohemian Grove, and get those tickets. And then I have another live event that you can also find on my website in the next couple of days. For Florida, and yeah, that's all I can think of right now. Bro, you're gonna love it. I did the inaugural one where we all just kind of showed up and called it Bohemian Grove, and they've ran with it, and I'm super happy for them. And the Nephilim Death Squad guys are fucking crazy, and they're great, and they're killing it. And you're gonna have the best time. That club owner, you're gonna be like, "Are you a real person?" It's someone straight out of Grand Theft Auto. It's the fuck best. You're going to love it. Everyone there is so nice. It's a great club, so enjoy it, dude, okay?